Hello my cine chums and welcome to week 34 of the 2023 Weekly Movie Challenge, where every week we issue you a challenge. Watch a movie that meets certain criteria, preferably a new movie to yourself. However, if you insist on watching The Adventures of Robin Hood for the 100th time.
From this night on, I use every means in my power to fight you.
Last week's challenge was set by one of our followers, Dave Ratcliffe, who challenged us to watch a movie that features a place name in the title. But first of all, while the challenge was suggested by Dave Ratcliffe in the last couple of weeks, it was also first suggested by Lenk Flaum a couple of months ago. So apologies for not mentioning you in the video in last week's video. As always, an excellent week, so thanks for everyone who took part. Superstars this week who watched more than one movie. First of all, there was Overlord of G4, who watched the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy, as well as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, keeping all four of their selections firmly in California. Chapman's Friend watched Cedar Rapids, which is in Iowa, Escabana in the Moonlight, which is in Michigan, International Falls, which is in Minnesota, and Small Town Wisconsin, which is in Wisconsin. Nostromo 1 watched A King in New York, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and the Woody Harrelson Lost in London. Y2 Craig watched the Train to Busan prequel Seoul Station, as well as In Bruges. Toby Dodgen watched Encino Man, as well as The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Pirate DJ watched Asteroid City and Green Street Hooligans. This week with Pirate DJ I watched Asteroid City and Green Street Hooligans. Asteroid City was a new watch and it had its moments, but it's certainly no Grand Budapest Hotel. Green Street Hooligans was a rewatch for myself. I also did a rewatch of the wonderfully awful Hard Ticket to Hawaii. As usual, 4 movies that caught my eye this week. First of all, Snowman watched Shanghai Express. They also left a comment in their tweet saying how great train-based movies are. I hadn't actually thought about it until I saw that tweet, and I've got to admit, I've got a soft spot for train movies, even Under Siege 2. So, Shanghai Express got added to my watch list. Nightwolf Nim watched Doc Hollywood. I've already seen that movie. However, in their tweet, they mentioned that Cars is pretty much a remake of Doc Hollywood. Hadn't thought about that before. I know Cars very well. Vague recollections of Doc Hollywood, so I think I might have to go back and give that a rewatch. Sabre Rose Tiger watched Fire Over England, about the English defeat of the Spanish Armada. They happened to watch that on the very day that England met Spain in the Women's World Cup, so that was great timing. And finally, Oz Queen watched one of those movies that I've heard of hundreds of times, but I don't know anything about it whatsoever, and that's The Guns of Navarone. And so on to this week's challenge, which is also a follower suggestion. Lucas sent us a suggestion on Twitter. Watch a movie from a director, actor or screenwriter whose work you're curious of, but perhaps you've never seen. Now, I thought this was a great challenge. However, I'm going to throw an extra little backup in there if anyone's struggling with this challenge. And that's watch a movie, again, from a director, actor or screenwriter whose work you've seen, but perhaps have seen very little of. So maybe only one or two movies from their filmography. So this is quite a personal challenge and one that I can't really give any recommendations for because it's all down to what movies you've watched, who you've seen, and so on. So instead, I'm going to give you a little insight into what I might be watching. To start with, confession time. I've never seen a Buster Keaton film, which I know is frankly criminal. So this challenge is a perfect opportunity to correct that. Now, I've also never seen a Marilyn Monroe film. Now, in my defence of Monroe and Keaton, I have seen a lot of old movies. It's not that I've just not seen old movies. I've seen lots of Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, James Stewart, to name just a couple. It's just Monroe and Keaton are just two actors that I've never got around to watching before. So that got me thinking, what other older actors have I not seen? So I had a quick look at some actors from the 30s, 50s, big names that I perhaps have missed. And 4 that jumped out immediately were Jean Harlow, Greta Garbo, Boris Karloff, and Spencer Tracy. So any film from their filmography would be an excellent choice for myself. In terms of lesser watched directors and actors, my obvious choice would have to be Charlie Chaplin. Of Chaplin's work, I've only seen The Kid, but on my 100 movie poster bucket list, The Great Dictator is one of only 2 movies left on that, so maybe that's a perfect opportunity this week to watch that and get down to one last movie on the list. So that's where I'll be starting with some ideas for this week's challenge. Maybe it's giving you an idea of where you can start. So, as always, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoy our challenges. If you've got any suggestions for a challenge, let us know in the comments below or on our Twitter account. And on that note, thanks for watching. Good luck with the challenge. We'll see you next week. Nightwolf Nim watched Doc Hollywood. I've seen that. However, a nice comment in their tweet was that Cars is basically a remake of Doc Hollywood.